And our third school here is Foothill High School, which is located in Pleasanton. And for a brief introduction on Foothill High School, their key characteristic is that they do have an impressive DECA program. We'll get more into that in a couple minutes. And then their UC Berkeley admission rates actually remain the same from 2019 to 2020, which is definitely something to note considering most schools did see a drop. Theirs actually maintained relatively the same. It was 20.41% in 2019, and then it was at 20.21% in 2020. So essentially the same percentage at 20. And then to round out their other information, their teacher to student ratio is 1 to 21. And then 88% of teachers had 3+ years of teaching experience, so right on the California average. And then for their extracurriculars, they had 65 clubs and 25 sports. And then for their UCLA admission rate, it dropped by about a percentage and a half from 15.29% to 13.64%. Now, for Foothill High School's university numbers, when you look at their 2020 UC enrollment, there's a lot of interest in both Berkeley and Davis, as 27 students enrolled to Berkeley, 24 to Davis, and then a decent amount of interest for UC Santa Barbara at 18, and then rounding out their other ones, 15 enrolled in Los Angeles, 13 San Diego, 8 for Irvine, 17 for Santa Cruz, 10 for Riverside, and then again, they had no data for Merced on the UC admissions website. And then other notable universities that students were admitted to in 2020 and 2021 were Cornell, MIT, Stanford, University of Pennsylvania, and University of Chicago. Now for their key characteristic, which is their DECA program. We did talk about DECA a little bit in our previous webinar regarding Monte Vista's DECA program, but if you are new to this webinar and this is your first one, for those who are unfamiliar, DECA stands for Distributive Education Clubs of America, and they essentially work to promote emerging young leaders for business or in business related fields such as marketing, finance, hospitality, and management. And they do this through having students find a topic in these fields, and then they present it in front of a live audience in a professional business related setting. And so for Foothill High School's DECA program, it was pretty good for over the last 20 years. However, in the last 10 years, Foothill's DECA program has taken a significant jump, and they have definitely improved their results at events and competitions. For instance, since then, they've had 5 first-place finishes, 2 second-place finishes, and several other third-place finishes. And in addition, students who have participated at Foothill High's DECA program have also gone on to attend top universities for business, such as University of Pennsylvania, MIT, Berkeley, and many others. Those 3 schools are currently rated by US News as the 3 top business schools, and they definitely have students going to all 3 of them. Lastly, for Foothill High School's academics, the key point here is that they have a high percentage of students who are college ready in English at 85%. That is the second highest out of the bunch of these 5 schools. And then they have 69% math ready, 69% are college ready in math, which is a little bit lower. And then their ACT scores did see a noticeable improvement by over 2 points from 27.75 to 30. And then a third key characteristic here for their academics is that they do have a lower number of national merit semifinalists in comparison to the other 4 schools. In 2020, it was already a little bit lower at 24, and then in 2021, it dropped a little bit further to 16. But rounding out their other academics, their SAT scores were 1340 in 2020. And then for AP tests, 90% of students scored a 3 or higher, and then 37% scored a 5. And then for the CAS, or I already said the CASP, but for the AP classes, it is slightly lower than Amador Valley and Dougherty Valley. It is right at 24, so 1 less, still a good amount. So that concludes our portion on Foothill High School. Now we're going to move into our 4th school.